Alright guys, welcome to a new video. I will shortly get into what happened and the aftermath after the SEC suing both Binance and Coinbase. I will go through some interesting coins I think for now. And yeah, let's dive straight into it. So I will mostly just go by the higher time frames as the lower time frames are super choppy and very volatile at this time. What's interesting here is during all the volatility, the initial dump was due to Binance being sued by the SEC. This was shortly followed up the next day by Coinbase also getting sued. But what's interesting here is the fact that when the Coinbase news came out, it was approximately here, we did momentarily sweep this low after the Binance FUD, and then we went straight up. Most of this move was made or caused by shorts having to cover or getting stopped out, whatnot, and we saw like I think 800 million in open interest being lost in this entire move. Since then, we've kind of been consolidating. We're at approximately like what is it? Maybe 1% lower as before the Binance FUD dropped. I would also like to say that prior to the Binance FUD being released, especially during this range right here, the day before or 2 days before even, there was a lot of shorting going on both the Binance coin pair and as well as BTC and some other stuff. So there were definitely some insiders that knew ahead of time what was coming and they started shorting, and that was also why we had a lot of short covering on this move back up. So right now, we are kind of in between everything here. What's good to note is the fact that we did still front run this obvious level at approximately 25.2, which also has the daily 200 EMA sitting there. So this was a very obvious level, but we still front ran it, and it still has been my idea. I've been saying it for like weeks already that we're either gonna front run this level or we're likely just gonna go below it at some point. So far, we're still front running it, only by a tiny bit, but that combined with the FUD, I don't know, who knows. But for now, we are backtesting this range low, which we momentarily retook, but then we rejected again from the 4-hour 200 MA and EMA, which you can see we have been doing for some time now. Right now we're just backtesting the previous range low at 26.5. And if the bulls would want to put in a solid reversal, you'd ideally want to see us start trading back above here and then finally break above the 4-hour 200 MA and EMA. And after that, maybe like a full-on market structure break and make a higher high and try to finally break this diagonal, which has been keeping us down for a while now. But overall, considering all the FUD and stuff we had, I really don't think BTC looks the worst. It could have been so much worse. But still, consolidation mode. There's a lot of fear in the air. No one knows. Maybe there's like another one coming, another a FUD piece or whatever. So people are being a bit fearful, which makes sense, of course. I mean, it's not every day you see stuff like this. I do think it will blow over eventually, and won't get into the FUD itself too much. But overall, we're just playing the chart, and for this chart to continue up, we have to flip this level. And on the downside, I think these previous May lows are important to be held. I think if we lose this level, then it's obviously it's very close already, but then it's likely we go test 25k and probably a bit lower. But it's a fight up here, so we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. ETH BTC. Not too much to say. I've been posting this chart on Twitter before. I think it's important to zoom out on this coin, because if we zoom in a bit, we get these kind of moves during all the BTC volatility, which often happens on these alt BTC pairs. But overall, if we zoom out, we're trading well above the daily 200 EMA and now also above the 200 MA. We had a nice retest of the diagonal. I think if this flips like 0.071, this is due for a bigger move, and I do think we'll at some point go test these range highs over here, maybe throughout the summer somewhere, who knows. I do also think that for this to happen, for ETH to gain relative to BTC, that we can't see BTC doing some crazy stuff, going up or down like 10% a day, you know, because that's usually like the higher volatility is when all BTC pairs tend to show weakness. But I think if BTC sees a relatively slow summer, maybe a bit of ranging, slowly grinding up, slowly grinding down, whatever, that ETH BTC should be gaining value against BTC relatively. So this doesn't say anything about the USD value. This is simply ETH versus BTC. All right, moving on. We have Litecoin, which is still just consolidating around here. I do feel like this wants to move higher at some point. We're still hovering above the 200 MA and EMA, and for a proper breakout, I'd really want to see this area being broken, and then from there on out, I think we can see the next bigger leg up. I mean, this has been just a huge consolidation, and it's been holding on, but yeah, eventually bulls will have to step in and really take it somewhere. And then one interesting coin, throughout all this FUD, Stacks has been performing relatively well. Maybe it's because this thing, for all I know, is basically building a layer on top of Bitcoin. So it's kind of Ethereum onto Bitcoin. So it's pretty unique. Whether it will eventually catch on or not, I don't know. But it's interesting to see how well this has behaved during all the volatility. Obviously, this was the Binance FUD, but after that, it's basically been grinding up, and you can also see this volume increase. So with that, we also retested the 200 MA and these March lows almost. Overall, this is looking quite strong, and I really enjoy just focusing on the stronger coins, as they tend to just take out the liquidity from anything else. I mean, if this keeps going up, everyone will focus on this, and it doesn't really make sense to try and bottom catch all these coins that have just been bleeding down and down and down. So this is definitely one of my favorite ones to watch currently. And I think trading it like lower time frame is a bit sketchy, seeing all these moves. But yeah, potentially for like a bigger swing trade if the strength keeps on. I don't know. It does look interesting. Definitely want to keep an eye on. We just got an alert on Litecoin. Well, let's go straight in. Oh, it was like a lower time frame thing I had sitting approximately here, I think. Not quite, but it's getting there. So yeah, Litecoin trying to break out on the lower time frames as well, but it's partially due to Bitcoin also kind of moving up again. But let's move on. Riff is basically a play which is part of the stacks play, I'd say. So this thing also at a decent level in terms of TA, but this has been following stacks like one-on-one usually. So if we overlay stacks, for example, you can see how they tend to move together a lot. So this is basically just a higher beta play on stacks. So that means that usually when stacks goes, Riff tends to go with like a 2x multiple on it. So you get these insane moves, but stacks is the main one to watch, I think, in this case. And then lastly, we have XRP, also showing a lot of resilience throughout all this FUD and volatility. If we look on the trading light charts, which I've shared a few times on my Twitter now, you can clearly see there's a lot of spot accumulation going on here. There's a lot of buying, likely by insiders, who may know a bit more about the case, and maybe they're speculating on them winning the case, which will obviously likely cause a big surge in the price of XRP. I would say if they indeed win, it would be great for the entire crypto space in general, and I would definitely think XRP goes for like a 50% or more pump on the same day and the day after maybe. But it's also, I think, likely to at least temporarily top out right after it, as there's obviously a lot of people that are sitting in this, or they're back holding this still, or they bought in anticipation of them winning the case. So Obviously, that's just gonna become a buy the rumor, sell the news thing, which we're all very familiar with. So yeah, I think it will surge if they would win, whenever that's gonna happen. If it happens, I don't know. But I also think it would top out shortly afterwards. But overall, this should, them winning the case should really help the overall altcoin space in general, as it's like a 1-0 versus the SEC. So interesting stuff there. All right, that's it for now. Bitcoin looking to flip this level for the bulls. This is an important one, and I think if we can do so, and if we can finally flip the 4-hour 200 MA and EMA, that this diagonal won't hold us back. Another one would be about the fourth test if we count this one. And I think this is a saying by, I'm not sure if you remember him, by Bitcoin Jack or the Pirate Jack. Usually the fourth test is the one that breaks it on these higher time frame diagonals. No guarantees. Let's see if we get there first, but that's what I'm eyeing for now. So flip this level, try and get above the 4-hour 200 EMA and AEMA, or MA, and then break the diagonal. That's what the bulls will have to do for the correction to come to an end, I think. All right, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for the partners, which are listed below in the description. And have a nice day, guys.